The Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger provides an easy, efficient, and safe way to replace automatic transmission fluid. This reduces the risk of vehicle damage by harmful contaminants and restores the oil's properties. In this video, we'll show you the many advantages of using the Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger in your shop. The 92500 is designed with you in mind. We will discuss many features, attributes, and benefits of the 92500 and discuss in detail different modes of operation. We will show you why it is the premier automatic transmission fluid exchanger on the market today. It can save time and help you realize more profits on your ATF service. Let us first turn our attention to a basic overview of the 92500 and briefly discuss the three main modes of operation: dipstick only, dipstick cooler, and cooler line only. Dipstick only mode. When it comes to speed and convenience, the Robinair 92500 in dipstick mode is unparalleled for speed, accuracy, and ease of operation. Fluid extraction and replacement is accomplished through the dipstick tube of the vehicle. Old fluid is extracted through the black hose, and new fluid is replaced through the red hose. The white nylon tube we call the straw is the final tube through which the extraction and fill process takes place. After the straw is inserted into the dipstick tube, the unit starts an initial drain of old fluid contained in the pan. The 92500 removes the fluid from the pan in this first step and ensures the percentage of new to old fluid is higher in the finished process. Several benefits are realized in the dipstick-only mode. Convenience. No fittings to tap into. The time in the service bay is minimal. You are not at the mercy of the vehicle's transmission pump. This is a big advantage over competitive machines that rely on the vehicle's transmission pump to perform the exchange. The 92500's internal pump, control valves, and software ensure consistency and accuracy. Additionally, all fluid is exchanged through the straw. The technician does not have to touch hot lines or possibly burn himself on a hot manifold. Dipstick cooler mode. This mode combines extraction of fluid from the cooler lines with fluid replacement through the dipstick tube. The unique patented selector valve assembly helps us to achieve this. The cooler line connection uses only the black tube of the system to extract old fluid and the straw to replace fresh transmission oil. The initial action in this mode is to drain the pan. While this process is happening, the tech can connect to the cooler lines. We use the 92500's positive displacement gear pump to fill new fluid. The vehicle's transmission pump helps to push out old fluid. Our gear pump is much more robust than the diaphragm pumps found on competitors' machines. The control valves and software regulate accurate fluid transfer. Two benefits realized in the dipstick cooler line mode are a more complete exchange of the transmission oil. We'll explain how later in this video. Time saving, because you can drain the pan while making the cooler line connections and then complete the service through the cooler lines. Cooler line mode. The cooler line mode connections are made to the vehicle in a traditional manner. Follow along as the 92500 steps you through the service. It doesn't matter what your personal preference is, using the 92500 means you will never turn away an ATF service opportunity. All the connectors for the cooler line mode are conveniently located on the back of the machine in this tidy storage area. Now let's focus on the operation of the Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger. On the control panel, we see a variety of function controls and LED readouts. The user interface is easy to understand and clearly labeled. Function keys provide the technician with a very user-friendly faceplate of operation. High-intensity LEDs and UV filters provide maximum visibility in shop light or direct sunlight. Another great attribute of the 92500 is the flow meters. These meters monitor flow of fluids and act as a sight gauge, giving visual indications of the exchange process. The Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger is truly designed with you in mind. The convenience and speed it offers will help your technicians perform ATF service safely, quickly, and efficiently. Let's take a closer look at the layout of the control panel. New fluid in displays amount of fluid added. Replaced fluid out displays amount of fluid extracted. Up-down arrows adjusts amount of fluid in or out in 1/10 quart increments. Mode indicators identifies procedures available. Select button selects the desired mode or procedure. Enter button accepts mode and starts the ATF exchange. Transfer indicators indicates the transfer that is presently taking place. On-off power switch turns the unit on and off. In case of emergency, the pause abort button is installed. Press pause abort once to pause an operation. Consult the owner's manual for details of use. If you select the wrong mode, press and hold the pause abort button to discontinue operations and reset the unit. Let's see how the Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger works in the three main modes. These different modes allow you to service any vehicle's transmission systems, whether old or new. This helps you realize more profits. Dipstick only mode. The dipstick only mode is the most noteworthy mode that the 92500 offers. It is the most convenient. There are no fittings to connect. This means that there is no risk of additional breakage or collateral damage to the peripheral components. No risk of skinned knuckles or touching hot lines or components. It is a thorough exchange. It does not rely on the vehicle's transmission pump to perform the service. The machine does all the regulating. And it is fast. A vehicle can be in and out of the shop in 20 minutes or less. It doesn't tie up a service bay, and it allows the technician to perform other work. Time is money, and you can get more work done in the same amount of time. The dipstick-only mode sets the Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger above the competition. In the dipstick-only mode, old and new ATF fluid is exchanged through the transmission dipstick tube via the straw. The dipstick-only mode sucks old oil and sediment off the bottom of the pan before the filter. This ensures you clean more sediment from the oil. The machine automatically senses when there is no fluid left in the pan. After the pan is drained and refilled, 1 quart of ATF is then removed, and 1 quart is added until a user-specified amount of new oil has been reached. At this time, we need to confirm that the vehicle and transmission are at operating temperature before initiating service. Check the fluid level with the dipstick. Power up. Connect the power cord to a 12-volt DC battery, red to the positive post and black to the negative post. If you inadvertently connect to the wrong terminal, the machine will give you an indication. Turn the unit on. The reversed polarity LED lights if the power is connected incorrectly. The unit self-tests and purges the internal lines. When complete, the buzzer sounds, all LEDs and displays light. The dipstick tube holder evacuates ATF and the software version displays. The 92500 is designed to be both intuitive and systematic while in the dipstick mode. Remove the dipstick from the transmission tube. Insert the straw into the transmission dipstick tube as far as possible to reach the bottom of the oil pan. The dipstick only, dipstick cooler, cooler only, manual top-off, drain waste tank, and total count indicators, and the select button LEDs are still lit and flashing. Press the select button until the dipstick only LED is lit. The Enter LED lights and flashes, about 1 second. Press Enter to confirm the selection. The left display, New Fluid In, reads 12, the default quantity in quarts of new ATF to be run into the system. Use the arrow keys to select the amount of quarts to be transferred. 12 quarts is the default. Minimum is 6 quarts, maximum is 32 quarts. Press Enter to confirm the quantity displayed. The alarm sounds and the Start Service and Enter LEDs flash. Press Enter to start the ATF exchange. The following takes place. The 92500 puts oil into the lines to prime them for use. The unit primes its internal fluid lines. Used ATF is then extracted from the transmission pan until empty. Because of the machine's intuitive design, it will drain the contents of the pan. When the machine senses that no more oil is in the pan, it stops. The cumulative volume extracted appears on the Replace Fluid Out display. Through the red transfer hose, the unit pumps back into the transmission's pan the same volume of new ATF that appears on the Replace Fluid Out display. The volume of new fluid yet to be pumped into the transmission pan is shown on the New Fluid In display. The Start Engine and Enter LEDs flash. Start the vehicle's engine to circulate the ATF through the transmission system. Press Enter to confirm the engine is running. The 92-500 extracts 1 quart of old fluid and returns 1 quart of new fluid through the hose back into the transmission oil pan. The Replace Fluid Out and New Fluid In displays respectively show the amount of oil extracted and the amount of new oil to be added. The flow meters work in conjunction with the LED display as well as the to-trans and from-trans directional indicators. You can see the color of the old ATF in the sight glass and will note the change in color to that of good fluid. The buzzer sounds and the End Service and Enter LEDs light. Press Enter to confirm that the correct amount of oil has been replaced. The 92-500 will give you an indication light to check the transmission fluid. Remove the straw and check the transmission fluid level using the dipstick. If the fluid level was not at a proper level before the exchange, it will need to be adjusted. Add or subtract fluid. The LED readouts will read Service End. We would now like to show a side-by-side split-screen comparison of ATF service being performed with the 92-500 in dipstick mode and a competitive model. You will notice in this side-by-side comparison that the technician using the competitor's machine must constantly attend to the machine, either connecting fittings or watching the exchange process. The technician using the Robinair 92-500 is conspicuously absent during most of the service. He is in the next bay performing service on another vehicle. After the initial setup, the Robinair 92-500 only requires attention from the operator to start the car's engine and verify the light on the 92-500. All other action in the exchange process is automatic. This allows the technician to do other work and increase productivity and your profits. The old way took 60 minutes. With the 92-500 in dipstick mode, 20 minutes. 5 times a week equals $70 in profit. The unit pays for itself in 2 to 3 months. We will now briefly discuss the other modes of operation of the 92-500 and show you some special features that our machine offers you. Dipstick Cooler Mode. This mode initially transfers used ATF and new ATF through the transmission's dipstick tube. While the engine is running, new ATF is pumped into the transmission through the dipstick tube. Old ATF is evacuated through the cooler lines. This mode provides the quickest transfer rate of used and new ATF. Disconnect the cooler lines and attach adapters to the input and output connectors. These hoses may be open hoses and/or snap or threaded fittings. Attach the adapters to the unit's cooler line selector valve assembly. Note, the adapters can be connected to either coupler. The selector valve assembly ensures the correct fluid flow. The 92-500 will not let you hook the lines up incorrectly. Confirm that the connections are secure. Start service. The exchange takes place. This is the most thorough exchange mode on the 92-500. By initially draining the pan of old oil via the cooler lines and replacing new fluid through the dipstick tube, your percentage of new fluid is greater. Cooler line only mode. This mode transfers used ATF and new ATF through the oil cooler lines. Use this mode if the transmission does not have a dipstick. Some OEMs are moving towards sealed systems. Recognizing this fact, we included this mode in this machine. Comparably priced machines only operate in the cooler line mode. For the same price, we have included the other modes in the design of this machine. This means that you will never turn anyone away from your service bay. You get speed and convenience and opportunity to increase your profit by having the flexibility to service more vehicles. Disconnect the cooler lines and attach the adapters to the input and output connectors. Follow along as the 92500 steps you through the service. Drain waste tank. Transfers used ATF from the internal waste tank through the nylon transfer hose to an external waste ATF holding tank. The waste tank full message appears on the control panel display if the waste tank is full. This machine is smart enough to let you know you cannot proceed with another exchange until you empty the waste tank. Manual top-off mode. Manually adds to, removes oil from, or drains oil from the transmission pan. Use this mode if it is necessary to remove the transmission pan or to add oil when using another mode. If the transmission level was incorrect at your starting check, it will be incorrect when you complete the exchange. If the fluid level is not in the desired range when checked on the dipstick, the manual top-off mode allows you to add or subtract fluid in 1/10 of a quart increments. No other exchanger on the market allows you this much control in adjusting the fluid levels. In addition to all the features and benefits we have discussed to this point, the Robinair 92500 has some additional attributes we would like to point out. All Robinair service platforms are designed with only the highest quality components. Pneumatic tires and large casters allow the 92500 to roll effortlessly across any shop floor, over hoses, grates, or rugged terrain. Polypropylene plastic will not crack or dent. It won't scratch your customers' vehicles. Easy access service doors make the 92500 easy to maintain. Lastly, the Robinair 92500 comes with a full 1-year warranty on parts and labor. Our national network of over 150 service centers covers you. For more information, visit our website at www.robinair.com or call our toll-free technical support line at 800-822-5561 in the continental U.S. or Canada. We hope this video has been helpful in showing you how the Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger is the machine you need to do ATF service in your shop. You can start saving time and making more money on your ATF service. Contact your local Robinair rep to help you put the Robinair 92500 to work in your shop today. The Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger provides an easy, efficient, and safe way to replace automatic transmission fluid in a vehicle. The Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger, a cost-effective machine that helps to increase your shop's profitability in service of automatic transmissions. The Robinair 92500 transmission oil exchanger, designed with you in mind.